the upper body does a lot of opposition. So if the hip turns one way, the chest turns the opposite way. If my right foot is forward, which arm is forward? The left. Okay, so always opposites. So counterbalance. So I would know if I was going to block this in, I'd say, okay, well, this arm is forward. And for the first week, I wouldn't go into a ton of detail with the arms. Let's just start with that. That arm's in the front position. See, I got all these keys. I don't need them. I'm just going to delete them for right now and say, okay, what's the back position going to look like? Well, that's how far I'm going to go there. There's front position and back position. And then I could go and get this to just move in linear and then put back the keys. So it's not going to look great. It's just moving evenly, but that at least gets me started. And then the same thing here, delete that. And then make sure frame 1 and 25 are the same. That work. There we go. And then just go through and put my keys back in every 4 frames. When I put it in step mode, right, then it'll all make more sense. But the upper body is where we'll spend a little bit more time next week looking at how we can offset things and overlap things. A sneaky way to do stuff if you want is, I know the hip is already doing some of this for me. So if I go grab the rotate Y from the hip, I can copy that. And then I can go and figure out, well, which control do I want to use? Maybe that one, or maybe I want to use this one. You don't have to use all of them, but it looks like this is the better choice. Okay, now I'll go to the rotate Y, delete all these, go to the first frame, and then go edit, paste. Okay, so now the chest is turning the same way as the hip, right? Which is not what we want. We want the opposite. So I grab this, times equals -1. Right now the hip is doing the opposite. So it's canceling out what the hip was doing. And if I want this to be bigger, I want more chest rotation, well, I'll just take this curve and say, let's just make this crazy. Let's go times equals 2, make it really big. There we go. So I can use the work that I did on the hip and add it to the upper body.